absolutely be a tough task to get your first win against a team that hasn't lost this split and has a number of comfortable champions for themselves. But Dewish team have built a very interesting composition. Nightstar, how are you liking that?
There's definitely a lot of siege coming in from both sides, and the team fight damage is a little bit limited coming in from both ends as well, right? But overall, I would still give it over to BYG just because of they have such a much higher floor than what we've seen from the players on the side of Dewish. But if this GP does get ahead, there is late game scaling to be had for Dewish team.
Absolutely. If they can survive out the signature Beyond Gaming early aggression, that's something that we've seen quite a lot of, especially with Husha. Well, a champion like this Wukong going to be no stranger to that, but look at this Death Brush. Dewish give away the game, at least give away WSL's position, as he just tries to harass. And Nidalee is not something we see a ton. I'm looking at the last games it was played in the summer split. It was in the Ultra Liga, in fact. And it did not find a win previous to that. LPL viewers might have noted it being played by Lan and Jun, but does not find a win. Had to ask Asterix about that perhaps a little bit later. I'm curious to see if it works. I mean, obviously stats don't tell the whole story, Nightstar, but when I see a Nidalee, I'm interested.
Yeah, and this is an interesting move coming in from Lee Kai, going for the first strike rune on the Gragas. And of course, Gragas recently, we've seen much more of the AP build rather than the bruisery sort of style. I'm interested if it ends up being the Everfrost build, which has been what we've seen for the most part coming in from Gragas, just adding in more CC. And especially in this top side, I don't know if there are many options that you get that are free trades, but now WSL making his way over the red buff, but he will be spotted, so we'll see if the collapse comes through. It does look like Wukong very far away, so this could just be a split map approach.
Yeah, he actually heads down just to deal with his wolf camp. So I think we're going to see the map split up. If WSL is able to sniff this out, perhaps he tries to go and contest there. But let's keep our eyes on the minimap for the jungle as well, as he takes away the red buff and easily
oh, here comes the collapse.
Safety. But the Zoe's coming in as well. Minji, he wants double buffs.
There's no way
That's
to flash.
That's going to be Kino. Oh, nowhere to go. First blood, but it's picked up by Kino on the Ignite secure. Oh, that feels bad for Dewish team.
Yeah, just really, really well planned out coming in from BYG, throwing down the ward on their own red buff. And this is massive for them because Husha doesn't even need to do anything. Yes, he's going to face check into Xiaotu, take a little bit of damage, but at the same time, like, you're only really worried about slowing down this Nidalee at the start, because afterwards, you know, the team fight impact is going to be much higher coming in from a Wukong rather than a Nidalee who's going to be so reliant on hitting spears before the fight breaks out.
Absolutely, and being set behind is going to sting right now. No buffs on, and WSL sitting on level 2. Actually,
just going straight for the crab.
Bit of roam. Yeah, just going to go for the crab control. That's good. Husha a little low, actually. As you get the level 3 off that, gonna spot the Nidalee. The brush should have done. Dewish team are not showing any signs of slowing down. And I think this is interesting that they're trying to match some pressure early on, or at least try to exert a lot of their own. But you got to be careful not to overpush, especially when the enemy's got eyes on you.
Yeah, and certainly this top half of the map is going to be something to just keep your eyes out on, because the GP, definitely a champion that can carry. Still, Jace in that mid lane. Jace is one of those champions. If he is able to get accelerated, those accelerated shock blasts do start to hurt quite a bit in the mid game, which combined with the Nidalee spears is going to be extremely scary to deal with for BYG if those pre-fight setups take too long.
Yeah, this is where you start to see, like, just the amount of, like, burst and pokes start to become a problem. I will say WSL is doing a good job at roaming around the red very fast. This is something you can do quite well as a Nidalee. Husha actually doesn't see this happening, and he's going to move his way. Oh my goodness, they just pass right by each other.
Interesting. Husha's going to start out the red buff. We'll see if WSL is actually going to get there. The thing is, he is a level down.
Yeah, he is right now, and he walks right into Husha and realizes he can't quite contest that easily. Doesn't have the smite. Could try for a spear hit to try and take away. Minji's actually roamed in to protect, so he's just going to watch his red buff go bye-bye.
Yeah, another good snag away from Husha, who the first 2 games, it's felt like it's been a bit of a jungle diffy, but...
Oh!
Okay.
As a good deny on
tank supports, of course.
Yeah. Tanky tank. What split is it? Doesn't matter. It's PCS. They like their tanks.
Yeah, exactly. And it offers
I'm
a very
begging you guys.
simple engage condition. Sometimes simplicity is what our PCS teams do need. Sometimes they overcomplicate things just a little bit for especially our lower teams.
Yeah. Save us, Kaiwing. You're our only hope.
I mean, even Kaiwing,
you
would label as, you know, his top played champions are going to be Nautilus, they're going to be Leona. He loves those champions because of the ability to face check. And sometimes you just need those conditions. And for Dewish team especially, like, who's going to face check for them? It has to be a champion like the Leona.
And it's not the tankiest comp all around, right? I mean, even if the Gragas going for big AP build,
this could be a fight.
fair amount sustain. That's going to be the jump in from WSL, and how going to go for a second wind effort as they pin Kino into the wall here, and he's burning, but gonna get taken down. Bang 2 finally claims.
But here's the reinforcements.
Take a lot of damage as we see the turn in from Husha. Minji coming through Sleepy Trouble.
Bubble
gonna land on Bang 2 as he gets bopped down quite low. Still stays alive somehow. Dewish team don't lose a member.
He didn't even die to the ignite either. So Minji just narrowly misses out onto a kill, and they also, of course, missed that other one onto Enhao. So perhaps better target selection would have helped there, but now we're going to see a split map play. Likai is most likely just dead here.
Yeah, Likai, he has flash. He's already burned his ultimate. We'll have the dash at least as he uses it to deny Zhao2, and Lakunai a little bit too low to actually do much about it. WSL looking to chase Husha off his blue, but fails.
That's smite for crab, though.
Yeah, this is a really scrappy game between these two teams. Nice starts, a 400 gold advantage on BYG's side, but let's take a look at that play down bot again, because, man, that was oh so close.
Yeah, a lot of fighting happening in this bottom lane. And for the side of BYG, this is, of course, their most aggressive lane. This is the lane, if you're going to try and catch out a lane a little bit too far forward, it's going to be Wako and Kino, because they are so lane dominant. They end up being a little bit too far forward sometimes. And Bang 2 gets hit by the bubble, and look at how close he burns down. He is in the single digits right there.
Yeah, that's if you're Minji, you're just wishing your Ignite had like another tick, because it is lights out at that point. Bang 2 just full on tanked, and once again,
he's not level 6.
He doesn't have anything to deny this, but Enhao will body block, protect the president here as Husha looks to come in, who does have level 6, and man, they're really bullying out this bot lane.
He can't walk up. He has to back.
He knows he needs to leave here, and you've got Zhao2 coming in to try and dissuade this.
He can't really do anything, though.
Yeah,
he's still a Jace. He's still a Jace trying to jump onto a Wukong who could easily just turn things on its head right there. And WSL, he is just so starved for tempo. Not necessarily gold, because minions wise, he's doing okay, right? But the issue is he's just always going to be behind on the play because of the early moves made by BYG to slow him down.
And the moves made by him to get a little too deep in enemy territory. Now he is actually going to continue doing just that on the Gromp here, as the Herald is started by Beyond Gaming. Minji and Aquino Rome comes up to help secure this. WSL, I don't know if he knows this is happening. He's just going to back away. Smart move.
I don't think BYG know where he's at. So this is, you know, if you're assuming that you're not going to be able to take the Herald, that's a pretty good move coming in from WSL, knowing that, hey, all of our lanes have been a little bit struggling, and if they pull up their support, it's probably not a great time, especially when our top lane isn't really getting a lot of priority right now. Of course, we're going to outscale in that top side, so we just need to make sure he doesn't die, and that's a position where, hey, as long as I'm not throwing my top lane, I feel pretty comfortable.
Yeah, you have to keep in mind the win condition, right? You know, we talked about how it's going to be the late game because scaling is going to be on their side. They have the gangplank that's big. Jace starts to hit hard at the later stages with those accelerated shot class. And, you know, Xayah still does pretty respectable damage. I think it's going to be hard for Beyond to really match that. Unfortunately, for a Dewish team, this is a little bit of a tough dragon flip right now. They will secure it on the smite, but the fight is going through into the Wukong ultimate, and they've even brought the GP from downtown Lakunai trying to zone them off. They lose and how, but still, they're going to be able to get away with at least a bit more here. Xiaotu being chased down, rooted to the spot for the double kill as Wako picks up 2. That dragon cost Dewish dearly.
It did, but they're able to secure the objective, so it slows down BYG's snowball capabilities here because they are able to at least get that first dragon. And I mean, for the side of BYG, we'll get to see the replay surely, but it's just the power of Ezreal Zoe, right? Once these fights kind of go into the dumpster for Dewish team, the chase potential of Zoe Ezreal is just insane. That's exactly what happens.
That really hurts.
Yeah, it slows them down just a little bit, and that's enough for the Wukong to get there to help initiate things out. And they almost trade back, and part of that is, you know, you're dumping a lot of damage onto a Leona, and this is why Leona is still probably, from just raw stats, the best tank support because of her durability as a support.
Yeah, to absorb damage purely tanky as Xiaotu tanks a little bit from Minji there. But Kino did a really good job setting things up. I mean, I just love the rubber banding between the Nautilus into the Wukong, and that Cyclone is just so massive right now. And one of the reasons Wukong's such a huge champion at the moment, I mean, it's so great, they even give him a second one as Bang2 just adjusts position and is going to be able to back away. I think a big thing here for Beyond Gaming is, you know, Wako being a big win condition for the team is that Party Barrel doesn't quite catch Lacuna in time. Wako's got 2 kills off the back of that fight, so the Essence Reaver already complete. He's going to be very much ahead of Bang2, and Ezreal is no slouch. Wako certainly dishes the damage for his team.
Yeah, and a lot of that CS stuff is okay. We're flipping here.
Whoop, there we go. Flipping for what though? As the bubble comes out into the flash from Menhao. I think that was just 2 people running into each other and getting ready to scrap.
We're flipping for blue. There we go.
There we go. Once again, nothing is safe. And how he dodges by running.
He's gone.
He takes more damage, but yeah, they know there's nothing you can do here. He's dead.
Bye-bye. And that will be blue buff secured. And we're seeing right now a lot of the objectives that you're playing for right now, or at least in the first 2 games, seem to be just attack these buffs, starve the other jungler. When it comes to these slower games, then farm is the objective. And jungle is one of the more secure ways to do so. Bang2, he's still got an ult. He's fine.
Yeah, and a flash. He does have to burn both, but that does mean it is absolutely free.
Can they get this kill, though?
Shelly. Lee Kai burns flash, does not. Oh, the dash is there. They deny that one. So this is a big swing for Beyond Gaming down bottom. Shelly might even have another charge in her left if they protect her well, but I think that's going down. Here comes the dive up top, though. Lee Kai.
This is a hard one.
Dodging around the spears. This is a hard force. Trying to get those last second plates, but here comes the Party Barrel back up again.
Oh no!
He's still taking a lot. Has to dash away on the Nidalee. And oh, Lee Kai knows. He got the outplay. They even get another tower bot side.
Yeah, and the issue with this dive combination that they're still trying to hope and pray for is the fact that where's the CC? How do you get the guaranteed spear? All you have
might
is
get the kill, but
eventually. WSL? Oh my god,
so
he is 1 HP.
All right, that was okay. Nice. So that was the hardest force I think I've ever seen, and they got it, but at what cost?
Yeah, certainly. You gotta ask what the cost was.
Oh no! WSL jumped into it.
I mean, there was no way for him to know where it was coming from, right?
Because yeah, but it just,
there's just no minions to actually spot out the ultimate. But that is tragic, and that's Wako understanding jungler's best, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm taking low. Well, don't worry, I can still clear my camps. and he just snipes them across the map. Would have been even worse if he lost both his Krugs as well, but at least the Krugs are still there. WSL just takes 2 tower shots from, or I think it was 2 or 3 from the first pass, and that's why it's way too hard. This is why Nidalee GP, like,
another one.
The champions seem fine, but synergy together, no sense.
Oh yeah, obviously he went. It was just perfect timing. And once again, you see Husha and Lee Kai doubling up. This time they found Jiaotu, and he's going down. Lee Kai can actually get the kill on that one. Husha was trying to fight for it, as not much they could do. So the gold lead has grown to about 4,000 and some change. Wako fully online on the Ezreal now. Bangsu and Hao moved into the mid lane to try and stop the push from Kino and Wako.
Oh,
and the dragon stacking will start for BYG in earnest as a Herald is started. Looks like we may have a flip here.
This is a very strong GP.
Yeah, it's going to be Kino taken very low as he flashes out. WSL goes in for the pounce and the kill. Got to be careful not to take too much more damage here as Minji comes around the side. Does manage to find the pound star damage burning onto WSL.
Burning.
And here comes Husha on the hunt, going to find one more, and Hao taking a lot of damage. The spear does not connect as the parting shot is there. And Hao going to get taken down by Husha. It's a trade of supports in the extended, but the Herald does not get secured by Dewish.
And we're seeing the power coming out from Lacunai on this GP, but it's just not enough. As it all sort of started out with Jiaotu getting caught out down in that bottom lane. He burns the stopwatch for no reason and immediately sells it. So it's 650 gold he invested that's just vanished into thin air. Which definitely doesn't help their cause. But because they saw 2 people down in that bot lane, they try and force elsewhere, which is, you know, it makes a lot of sense. But unfortunately, BYG are just on the dot with the rotation. They come up, catch up to it, and able to find a fight right afterwards.
And you're seeing a lot of the classic differences between these two teams, right? Like, I mean, Beyond have definitely looked so much better as a team, especially this split so far. But Dewish team, you know, whether they've been in the Alpha Garb or Hurricane, many of these players, of course, having experienced the same roster, they have a little bit of issues in you know, as 5 members understanding where they need to be on the map at a given moment. I like the proactivity, I like the attempts, but the execution's just not on the same level. They will get a tower down bottom, so they are finding something for their trouble, but they're just giving up a lot on these trades, and it's allowing Beyond Gaming to get even further and further ahead in this game. And you are hoping for Dewish team as the late game you will have more power, but yeah, this is rough.
This is the Lacunai 1v5 game. That's really what you're putting on. Of course, you do have a crit 80 carry, so once you get to 3-4 items, you are going to outperform the Ezreal, but possible catch is just not there. Again, this composition just lacks CC, so their way of locking people down is really only this Leona. So wherever the Leona goes is their best hope of finding a fight, whereas going elsewhere, as we saw in the 3v1 dive, it's just too hard.
He might get it, but yeah, it will pay dearly. So, Beyond Gaming know this. They can throw their weight around, investing a lot of vision into this topside jungle to try and keep it clean. As another Shelly gets dropped into the mid tier 2. Teleport even expended from Lee Kai, and the siege is on. We talked about siege being the name of this game, and it is going to be Beyond Gaming claiming a 5th tower. Only answered by 1 outer in the bottom side. Shelly should go down here. Beyond Gaming just controlling this side of the rift. And it's not even 20 minutes, Nightstar. They can't even turn for Baron because it doesn't exist yet.
Yeah, exactly. And Jiaotu on this Jace with the completed Eclipse has to be able to find some of these accelerated shock blasts. Perhaps once he gets the Muramata completed, that will be the big power spike that they're looking for to maybe set up a nice team fight for them. Thankfully, though, they took the first dragon, remember, so that was key, even though they did lose a couple members because of that fight. But delaying Soul Point by 5 minutes is definitely not a bad result. And Interestingly enough, we actually get to see what I would assume is going to be the Ravenous Hydra coming in from Wako, unless if he just plans on sitting onto the Tiamat and go straight into the Sorel does. That would be an interesting build path.
Yeah, now that is curious. I'm actually going to keep an eye on that one. And as you called, the AP Grog is starting to come out, of course, more and more. We already saw the Everfrost, but the Seraphs comes through too. So as items start to spike up, we'll see this game take a little bit further shape. We already talked a little bit more about the Eclipse and waiting on Xiaotu to get his fully stacked tier. But the teams aren't going to be slowing down and waiting for those to spike, as well as Husha going in, finding WSL.
Good read.
And he just keeps him locked up for days. Both casts of the ultimate. And will Dewish team be able to find a fight? The answer is no, because they're just getting hunted down right now. As they try to deny something, they get absolutely nothing at all, nearly losing 3 for 3.
And it's just been a jungle clinic. Wherever Dewish team go, as long as it's in the forest, it's been just trouble time and time again for them as Dewish team. They will be able to get some damage onto this bot tier 2. They should be able to claim that bot tier 2, but GP, while he does farm these towers very, very quickly, it's just not like something a Fiora would do, where you can 1v9 towers at a certain point. He just doesn't have that sort of pushing power or tower threat quite yet.
Yeah, so they're running a little short on time. Beyond Gaming claiming Baron uncontested does mean that Dewish are going to have to withstand quite the push here. I don't think it's as dire straits as, maybe last game. Still a pretty hefty gold lead to face down against. The execution hasn't quite been there, and clearly Beyond Gaming are not afraid if they find anybody of the Dewish squad on the opposite side. And while Drake stacks are going to be a little slower because of that early take, you've got to watch out for Husha. This man has been key to setting up so many picks, so many plays. Oh. Nice snipe from Xiaotu. You take those where you can.
It's a win.
It's a win.
That's where you type in all chat.
That's it. That's the turnaround.
FF now.
That's the turnaround, Night Star. Calling it now. Yeah. If they win this game, it was because of the confidence boost from the blue steel.
Yeah, and we actually get to see Wako just go ahead and complete the Ravenous Hydra. So opting, saying, hey, I need the sustain right now. Okay, this is some classic Xiaotu things, just
hard push.
Casually tank 3 tower shots.
It's fine. There's nobody there. You're good. You got to get some gold back. But unfortunately, the siege is happening on their bot side of the map. So you got to stop this.
Yeah, so now they're going to pull in some recalls. We'll see if they can land any accelerated shock blast. Of course, this is his big power spike. So if anything's going to happen, it has to happen here. Nice little blast landing on Wako. Okay. Zoning ult from Enhao there, but it is pretty low cooldown. Here comes the engage from Kino. They don't want to find Xiaotu. True Shot Barrage expended. They dodge most of it, and the GP ultimate keeps them off. Oh, no.
Oh, boy. Everybody keeping them in arm's length on either side. League's pushing top, too. Uncontested. This is 5v4 down 5. WSL looking for
they have to look
on the spear.
And they just don't have any engage left, though. They don't have the GP ultimate to apply the area effect slow, and they don't have any way for... They don't have a Leona ultimate to fish for a pick, so...
They're gonna lose everything! They lose Xiaotu!
I don't know why Xiaotu decided to walk up, but he did.
Well, that was an oopsie on both sides of the map. That's gonna be at least Inhibitor, and then some change. As the 4-member squad of Beyond Gaming really feeling their strengths at this point. And without Xiaotu for 30 more seconds, this is not going to be an easy stop. 5v4, they find the Nidalee. WSL gets deleted as Wako claims kill credit. And now in a 5v3, Barrel popped up into the Featherstorm. Bang2 denies the CC, but he can't deny that his base is being shredded.
Yeah, this push is pretty impressive. They don't have a whole lot of wave clear. Lucky can't do everything himself. His barrels are come up only so often, so he's not going to be able to save the base. That will be 2 inhibs and this last inhib tower as well, so a lot, pretty much everything falling inside Dewish team's base. And this is definitely dire straits, but if I have to hash out a silver lining, it is the fact that Lakunai has his collector. So if he's able to get that RNG crit It might be good enough to get someone low enough that Death and Taxes kicks in.
Oh, they're gonna have to thread so many needles there, Nightstar. I mean, this is tough, right? I think the problem you're facing though, right, is Beyond have accelerated so well. Wako is fully online, and they've now caught WSL.
Okay.
Burns his flash. Actually, is able to get shoved away as he hits him with the Griffin. But yeah, this is rough right now. Like Kunai is going to be the win condition. You talked about 1v5. I feel like that's going to be very much the case if they pull it off. But the siege is right back on again, and Bang2 gets bursted into Husha. It's like he doesn't even have a health bar.
Huh? Oh my god, that wasn't even like the Sleepy Trouble bubble.
No,
that was just
Battlestar.
That was just bomb. And now WSL's gone, and that's the game.
He doesn't have much of a health bar either. That's going to be GG. Lights out. They can throw it down the cannon barrage, but it's not going to mean a thing. As the Wombo combo just keeps on hitting here. Beyond Gaming, find one tower, find the other. They will find the game to extend that win streak to 4-0, and it only took them just under 26 minutes to do it. GG, lights out. Go again next as they try to pad a few more stats. Beyond Gaming outclassing in the jungle and in the lanes.
YG keep their undefeated